All right, hello, LinkedIn and YouTube. We are live today with the one and only Andreas Kretz. He is the founder of Team Data Science, and his big focus in life is data engineering. So I can't wait for you to meet him. Before I bring him on stage, though, I do want to let you know that this is a special LinkedIn Live episode where you're actually going to get a chance to win. Basically, 10 winners will be announced by the end of the session. Well, maybe an hour or so after the session. Basically, you'll get to receive a 1 month subscription to Andreas's data engineering program. So I'm going to bring Andreas into the show so he can introduce himself. Hello, Andreas.
Hi, welcome everybody. Nice to
Thanks.
be
Thanks
back
for
on.
being on the live today. I know you do your own live events, so I know it must be interesting to be a guest on the show.
Yeah. The last time we had a live together was a bit chaotic for my car, but
Yes, that was, and the one before that, I remember you singing some songs, and that
oh,
that were
I'm getting red already. Stop it.
our lives are always fun. So for everyone who's joining us, let us know where you're tuning in from. Also, let me know if you can hear both of us okay. I'm experimenting by live streaming from my phone to avoid any issues that I had on my last LinkedIn Live. But anyways, Andreas, why don't you provide an intro? Who is Andreas Kretz?
Yeah, hi. My name is Andreas. I'm a data engineer, so I'm not the typical data science role that like everybody is talking about data scientist. I'm a data engineer. I come from a computer science background. And for the past, is it 9 years, 8.5 years, I worked within the big data. It started within the big data realm when big data was the big hype topic. And basically, it developed into this data engineering role where I was a data engineer, then currently a team lead for data engineering team. And I decided then this year to try something new, start up with Team Data Science, where I help people data with data engineering, learning data engineering.
So, Team Data Science, what is that? What is that really?
Well, it's you can. It has multiple things. First of all, I'm having there my data engineering academy.
Mm-hmm.
That is basically a step by step. I would. It's hard to call it course, but a step by step program where basically from the beginning to creating a project to learning everything you need to doing your CV and to applying to jobs to get a data engineer role, basically. And then I have a coaching there. What I do, uh, it's a personal coaching with Zoom calls, and I also have courses from really good trainers where I know that they're good and they have good courses like yourself, Kate, and a few other people. Basically, not data engineering. These are then things for data governance, for data scientists, courses or coaching, and your data visualization stuff. So
Data
that's more
visualization.
or less
Yep.
team data science. So I use team data science, not data engineering. So I don't want to limit it completely to data engineering, but also bring value to everybody else who's in the data science field.
Cool. Awesome. So I'm just checking in on the comments. We've got people joining us from all over the world. Biplop says that he started learning from your website, so that's cool.
Cool.
Got people from Egypt, Australia. LinkedIn user says we can hear you from Texas. Okay, great.
that's very good. Thanks,
Yes, that's
LinkedIn.
important. So thank you. People is joining us from Mumbai. We got people from Morocco. I love how international these LinkedIn lives get. So
Absolutely.
we've got a good crowd on now to announce that there will be 10 winners that are receiving a 1 month subscription to your data engineering, somewhat course, maybe not course. We're
No,
still
it's basically it's a membership program where I don't want to sell it as a $100 and $200 course. I made it as a monthly subscription membership, wherever you want to call it. So it's very easy. You can use it as long as you like, and I'm bringing every week new stuff and a live stream to the platform and basically make it cheap. So because I'm not I'm not into $300, $400 online courses.
He doesn't make money, guys. He wants to help the world. Learn more about data.
Sure.
But like $20, $20 a month for your subscription, right?
Yeah. I think it's fair, and yeah.
And you're adding new content every month, so people stick around for that new content.
Currently, every week, I'm building. Right now, I'm building a fundamentals course, where basically everything you need to actually start with data engineering. Yeah. So.
Okay. So 10 winners will be selected based on the types of comments or questions that you're dropping on the LinkedIn Live, or if you're joining us from YouTube, on YouTube Live. And Andreas and I will get together about an hour after the session, and we'll announce the 10 winners who will receive that 1-month subscription. So if you got questions or comments and around data engineering, feel free to put those in. And this is all part of basically, Team Data Science is a community partner for the DATAcated conference that's coming up. I'd love to just let you guys know, if you've not signed up yet, please go to storybydata.com/DATAcated conference so you could sign up. It's a free conference. Highly recommend you guys to join. And while you're looking at websites, definitely go to teamdatascience.com to learn more about the course. In case you're not a winner, you can still get it for under $20 a month. All right. So I did see a few people and a few questions here. So there's a question here from Alexander. Which career is more lucrative financially, data engineering or data science?
Well, if you're straight about the money, I think the data scientist usually is a bit higher, has a bit of higher salary. It's also the job where people most likely are looking for someone with a PhD and so on. But generally, these are not. These are two jobs more or less on the higher salary end. It's not like everybody who's coming from a university can do these jobs. It's like you have to have some practice or some experience, life experience. You also need a lot of skills to actually do it. So there is a difference, but it's not as high as like I would say when you think about a web developer or something. Usually, unfortunately, web developers are a bit lower on the lower end, and these are more high skill jobs. So
okay. All right, thanks for that. I think maybe for those who, I know most of my community network is probably on the data science, data analyst side of things. Can you provide an overview of exactly what is data engineering?
Well, if you think about data engineer or data science in general, I'll bring something up here. Doesn't matter.
No, you can bring it up. You want to share?
Actually, I wanted to bring this up before we talk, and now I forgot it. So,
well, while you're pulling that up, So Alexander says, "Thank you for your answer, Andreas. I thought the opposite was true, and engineers would be better rewarded." I think it's a case by case basis.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the hype around data scientists is still there, and they're thought to bring the most value. So let me show you something. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I'm trying to. Let me make that full. Yeah, go back to sharing your screen. Let me make that full. Yep. There you go.
Okay, so basically the data analyst is working around here. Is working a lot around BI tools and so on, and that's like he's more on the visual side, on the analytic side, on the business side, and where the data scientist is working a lot, he's working a lot in the within a processing framework, taking data, making analytics, and bringing basically new value to the company, like like forecasting house prices or whatever. So that's basically already a difference between analysts and between data scientists, and the engineer is more or less around all this. So the engineer is in charge of making sure that the data can come into the platform, creating APIs, creating databases to actually have other systems access it. He's in charge of the data flow. Like a lot of data is coming in, you need a buffer, and then setting up the processing frameworks, figuring out what's the best way to store each type of data used by data scientists or analysts, and put it in the right storage solutions. So it makes sense, and that he basically helps other people to work with the data. And on the visualization stuff, also connects then the tools to the storage, or creates another API for mobile apps, or works on creating setting up dashboards or something. So it's a highly versatile job, but always around the engineering part in the background. That's why I most of the time call it the plumbing. It's the plumbing that you don't see, right?
Yeah. Oh,
you can bring me back.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Not like this.
You're so high tech, Andreas. You're my
Oh
most.
man, as always, I changed something before the stream, and then nothing works correctly.
No, for floating on your own screen. We've got so many questions. It's actually going to be tough to choose 10 best questions at the end of this, I'm sure. But you ready? You ready for more?
Sure. Bring it
on. So this is an interesting one. What is salary ranges for someone starting as a data engineer but has good industry experience? Give us numbers. I know that's tough.
That's tough. That depends on a lot on where you live. So like if you're living in, so I'm familiar with Germany, and like when you're in larger cities or big cities like Munich, Berlin, these are large cities where it costs, or where the standard of living, no, not the standard, the cost of living is very high, and that's why they're paying you usually more. But well, in euros, I think it's always depends. It's like before tax, usually it's 65, I'm guessing 65, 70k. That's 70, 80 something dollars. Is that would be my guess for a junior.
I know there are a lot of factors that can affect that: location, the actual experience, the demands, the industry. So.
Exactly. If you're in a like what I'm guessing, and that's only a guess, but when you're in a high area of demand, like something in Silicon Valley, where there are 100 companies that need engineering, and there are only a handful of data engineers, then they're going to pay more. But if there's not that much,
Okay, yeah, I mean, supply and demand. Thank you.
Exactly, as always.
Question here from Patrick: is data engineering a requirement for a data scientist?
That's a great question. Yes and no. That depends a lot on what you're actually doing as a data scientist. So, and on your project. Like if you're a project has different phases, like a proof of concept phase, a MVP phase, and then you're going towards real production. And if you're in a proof of concept phase where you need to set it up, you need to try it out and show that it works, then the data scientist may have to do a lot of engineering work, because there are not so many people who are doing the background work. When you're moving towards production, what you need and what you're going to see is that there are going to be engineers there to do the actual work, because you have to think about it. A data scientist has the main thing where the data scientist is trained upon or trained towards is analytics, is doing machine learning, is is analyzing data. So it doesn't really make sense to bring him on and let him do a lot of stuff in a role where he's needed to do engineering and setting up stuff, because that's not his primary goal and his primary area of knowledge,
Yeah.
And so that's also when you go towards operations development is one thing. You can a data scientist also can develop something, set up a few systems. At some point you need ops, and then it's useless.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that.
Complicated question, a bit longer answer. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Let's see your answer for this. This is from Danny. Danny's asking, outside of Data Engineering Academy, what free or low-cost resources do you recommend for learning data engineering, and what sorts of projects would prospective employers be looking for on GitHub account and or portfolio?
Wow. Can you let that question on here for a second? So what free low-cost resources? There are basically, if you know what to learn, everything is for free. You don't need a course for that. As I said, I'm working on the fundamentals part. Like, what do you need to get into data engineering? Is like you need coding skills in one programming language, Python. You're going to find something for free. I have a lot of resources for that. Then you need some database skills, like relational database with SQL. That stuff is here for tens of years, so that stuff's for free. And then you need some agile development stuff that you can learn, and a few Linux skills. So that stuff is, you can even Google this. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
What sorts of project should you do? Well, what I always recommend to my students is you focus on, and that's also a part of the Data Engineering Academy. You focus on actual job openings. What is open here that and that is interesting to you, like, or if you already have an idea, like, okay, I want to go into the automotive route, or I want to do like e-commerce or financing. And then you go that route, you search specifically for jobs in that route, squeeze out what do they need, what kind of stuff do they, and sometimes it's a bit cryptic in job descriptions. I think you know what I'm talking
about.
And so, and then you start and building your project from there on, basically tailoring it to these companies. And then, I mean, you're doing a GitHub, you're doing a few blog posts and so on, and put this into your CV, and you're already very, very good.
Yeah, I like what you said in the beginning, that if you know exactly what you want to learn and what you want to focus on, it's easy because you can actually get all that stuff for free. I think it's understanding what are the things you need to learn. And I think that's what you do really well at teamdatascience.com. And I highly recommend people actually go and check that out. Is because you've done the hard work of actually researching and knowing what people have to learn, and then putting that into a consumable format where people could just learn it instead of having to research and understand, is this the thing I need to know, or is this the thing I need to know?
That's Kate, I realized this a long time ago. Like, I know there will be in each of the blocks that I've just shown, and each of the tools that you use, there will be a lot of people who are way better than me in each of these things. But one thing that people usually lack is the big picture. Basically, what should I do? What is the essence that I should learn? What is the right direction? And that's what I build around the Data Engineering Academy on Team Data Science, is showing you the right path. But the coding, usually you have to do that. That's the hard part, and the fun part.
The fun part for some. So, next question for you, Andreas, from Lakshmi. Do you think the positions like data scientist, data engineer, machine learning engineer, or data analyst are correctly classified in the industry, or the skill set demand is correctly demarcated?
Okay, you need to help me. What is demarcated? What does that mean?
So, is the skill set demand correctly? I guess are the job descriptions, let's say for data analyst, correctly describing a
Okay.
data analyst role and data scientist for a data scientist role?
Yeah. Okay. Well, these three roles, like data scientist, ML engineer, these are two that they're sometimes confused or not 100% clear, and that's why these two are usually, yeah, it's like the scientist should do the scientist work, should do the analytics work, and like the ML engineer is more for automation and for bringing it into production, like. So these are a bit confused and more entangled and not so clear often. I think generally I think these are really great descriptions, but there are some things that you see often, like data analyst. People are calling themselves data scientist. Like there's a prominent guy on YouTube. I don't say the name, but he always calls himself a data scientist, and then you find out like he's an analyst at Facebook. So these are different roles, and if you're an analyst, yes, you're doing a lot of analytics and business analytics and finding out like how do the users interact with the platform and so on. But that's not exactly what a data scientist does, right?
Yeah.
So these are, yeah. But generally, these are very good descriptions. I really like them.
Yeah, I think what I've seen on the job descriptions is like you said, sometimes you'll see a position that has a job description for a data scientist, but they call it a data analyst because they're hoping to, pay less for the person going to, and sometimes the opposite, they have a data analyst role, they call it a data scientist to encourage people who want to be a data scientist to come in. So I think forget the actual titles when you're looking for jobs and just go straight to the requirements and description of your day-to-day responsibilities, and then make that decision for yourself of what you think you're actually doing versus what that job title is. Because in the end, who cares what you're called? It's all about the work that you're actually doing. I know a lot of times the title correlates with the salary, but just look at the salary, look at the job descriptions and requirements. Sometimes maybe ignore the title until companies get that right and standard.
But it's also for engineers, like you find data engineering roles, and the description isn't really there. They well, we need one cloud platform, and we're this and that. And when you look at it, either they don't want to show what they're doing, and want you to know what you don't want you to know what you are got to do, or they have no idea what this is for. Like, like okay, forget this. This don't apply to it. It's stupid. They don't know what they're doing. Like it's funny.
Awesome. So, ready? Next question. Ayush. Sure. So, what are some common misconceptions that people particularly have about data engineers?
Well, the general conception is that this is something that is not as worthy of doing as like a data scientist, and that it's more of a nerd thing. And
people with glasses, big headphones.
Oh no. Yeah, and like data scientist is always then like that's the guy who's doing the presentations and he's working with the clients and he's going to get all the praise for his great work. A bit of that is true, but the engineers in general, you don't need 100% introverts for this, because engineers need to work. It's a broad field. You need to work on the technology side. You need to communicate a lot with the data scientists or with the analysts. It's a very versatile field. Like not everybody can do it, and some people think that everybody can do that, but it's actually to really bring it into production and not doing proof of concepts, bring it into production. It's a hard thing. You need a lot of skills for that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we got some comments here. One from Andrew
Oh,
saying
Andrew.
there's a lot of free content around. You can't argue that, but knowing what should you focus on learning and getting support and guidance when you get stuck is such a great reason to invest in your learning with something like this. So Andreas, he really likes what you've done, and I know Andrew, you're launching your own thing, Data Science Infinity. So plug for Andrew Jones,
Very,
check
yeah.
out his stuff as well.
Also have a link on my side to his stuff. So
Yes, it's a
Andrew,
closely knit
awesome.
community here
Yeah.
of course,
Yep.
developers in the data space.
Yeah. It's with the getting stuck. That's also why I started with the coaching.
Yeah.
It's like I want to help. When I think about doing a project, it should be easy. But there are a lot of, for beginners, there are a lot of like, how you call it, hurdles or something that basically
Obstacles, hurdles, yep.
obstacles. It's everything's running smoothly, and then don't need to swear here. What should I do now? And then you need somebody who has experience and tells you, okay, go this direction, go this direction. So that's why I started the coaching. And Andrew also is going to do the coaching, going to do his coaching as a data scientist for data scientists. So I find this really cool.
Great. So here's a question that might be on a lot of people's minds, Andreas, from
Okay.
Tariq. Why did Andreas think of team data science while he was also involved in plumbers of data science? Explain this, Andreas.
Yes. Well, plumbers of data science is something I'm going to revive at some point. I started with plumbers of data science. I called my podcast plumbers of data science, and my YouTube channel at some point.
Yeah.
Then I got fed up with the podcast because I couldn't get it on oh man, how's it called, iTunes.
Okay.
Super annoying. And then and also I wanted to brand my YouTube channel to my name, so that if you search my name, you find it. But now the podcast is actually on iTunes, so in the future I'm going to bring that back. So the plumbers of data science thing is not that. It's only I call the podcast that.
Okay.
The team data science I want to do is like, well, the future that I see on the horizon for team data science is that not only I am doing the stuff on team data science, so that I bring also other people in, like not only engineers, that I could bring in somebody who's doing data analyst stuff, somebody who's doing data scientist stuff, and so on. So that's basically, that's why I called it team data science. But the plumbers of data science thing is still there, and it's going to come back.
I love the name plumbers of data science. It's just, you can visualize it, the plumbing of all.
Yep.
It's a team effort, and data engineering is a part of that whole process, a very important part. Okay, Umut, there is a growing demand for data scientists every day all around the globe. How will be the coverage of lack of data scientists in the near future? What do you think of for the conversion possibility from other engineering disciplines? Greetings from Turkey.
I don't think I understood that correctly. So data scientists, the demand is coming up more, and the lack of data scientists. So so from other engineering disciplines, becoming a data scientist, that's possible. I mean, you can go from analyst to scientist, you can go from engineer to scientist. That's all there. You can also go from data scientist to data engineer. So I also had some coaching students who said they're data scientists, but they either wanted to become a data engineer, or they say, well, in the current, my glasses are crooked. The kids, I can never get them straight.
You can't blame the kids for your
you fix them, and then a ball comes flying, boom. There are people, because with data scientists, as I said in the beginning, in the early phases, they need to do a lot of engineering. So that's also something they need to learn. But generally, what I've seen for data scientists, the hardcore data scientists, like the research data scientists, I don't know if the demand is basically unfulfillable, because when you see a lot of the new tools that are coming out, and they're already came out, like where you can code stuff visually or drag some stuff in and choose this and that algorithm and send your data through it, that helps a lot of people that are not really like PhD data scientists who are doing research all day.
Yeah.
That helps them a lot in automation. So I'm seeing the more I'm seeing this more as a hype, and what we're going to see is that when more and more people going in or getting into the stages where they need to do operations for their systems, and then they're going to see that you need more people than only data scientists. And we're still not there. A lot of people are still, or a lot of companies are still in the early stages of their stuff.
Yeah.
Oh God, they're coming.
Sorry, yes, I had to. It's time, Andreas. No, we've got some sirens, so I was muting myself. But then that's exactly when you stop talking. But we have a really cool question here from Emilio. Yes, they're coming. How would you describe the roadmap for a data engineer in terms of building the necessary skills? Give us a roadmap.
Well, the roadmap. As I said, the first things that you absolutely need is you need a coding skill. You need a language. If it's Java or if it's Python, nowadays a lot of people are coding in Python. So go with Python. It's cool. And all the I think all the major tools right now are using Python. So go with Python. Look into databases, into normal SQL databases, and into like also documenting your code, like GitHub and collaboration of stuff. That's the minimum that you need. And then you're let me show the picture again.
I'm going to show us something.
Yep, I'm going to show the picture again. Like here, can you see it? Kate?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, like take something from each of these phases. Learn how to build APIs. Learn like a buffer, like Kafka or something. Look into a processing framework. That could be everything, anything. That could be Spark. That could also be something like Elasticsearch or something. Elasticsearch also has storage in it, but then look at a NoSQL database that you can use, and something for visualization like a dashboard or something, or Grafana or Kibana if you're using Elasticsearch. And then that's a general direction I would go here. And these are the you can bring me back. The actual skills or the actual tools you need there, that depends on actually where you want to go and what companies are looking for there. So the possibilities are endless. It depends on where you want to go and what people need.
So yeah, and I think the roadmap itself, it's going to vary based on where you're starting from, and what your actual destination is. There are several routes, it seems like, that you can take to get there.
Yeah.
All right. So Susan is here.
Oh,
how about classification guru to data scientist? So.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know if it's a serious question.
I think Susan would be the best one to answer this. Actually,
Susan, we're gonna need you on the show to answer that question.
Yeah, that's you can write that question down and ask Susan. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Question here from Daniel. So, what do you think about analytics engineering?
Oh God, what's that? Analytics engineering.
So Daniel, maybe provide a bit more context.
Yeah, Daniel, please shed a small light on what is analytics engineering.
I love that. Okay, so this is a LinkedIn user, so we'll have to find the name. But is the field maturity-wise similar to the security field, right? Are you supposed to outperform Gandalf when it comes to doing magic with low-quality data? I wonder who's asking this question.
Well, from a maturity perspective, is the whole data engineering part, um, like a lot of stuff that people, as you've seen in the blueprint that I have also on my GitHub. You can find that also that cookbook through my webpage. It's for free. Uh, you're going to see that there are a lot of like basic things that have been here for 10, 20 years. So the maturity in these is very, very high. For other stuff, like the newer stuff, it's coming because people have experience with Spark, people have experience with Cassandra or whatever. But generally, yeah. So generally, it's there. The when you think about low quality data, yes, that's something that not only the data scientist is struggling with, also that is where the data engineer is struggling with, because you need to make sure that the data that comes in is correct. It's not malformed or whatever. It makes sense at some level that the engineer understands. Like when you have, like, you're working with JSON data where there are objects in, like name, first name, second name, and so on, like for users, and there's missing first name, second name. So, and that, like from a tweet or something, whatever,
Right.
and that is missing. So from an engineering standpoint, okay, that thing, you can skip that thing will never make sense, and or something else is missing.
Yeah.
I'm coming from the machine, from the IoT field, then with sensor data. When you already see that sensor data makes no sense, then you can flush it out. So the data scientist doesn't have to manage it. But yeah, it's fun for data scientists and engineers, and for analysts to think as well.
Yeah. Thanks for answering that. So we've got a comment here from YouTube now. Scott Miller is saying, seems like data engineering should be a prerequisite for a data scientist, since you have to build the pipelines, the plumbing, right, before you can analyze the data. What do you think about that?
Well, as I said, that depends on the actual stage or your project is, and what you're working on. Like if you say you have a proof of concept, you don't need to build any pipelines. Maybe not need to build any pipelines at all. You need to show that thing, that forecast, that analytics, that is working. Like that works. When you think about more than when you move forward, and some you still have to do a bit of engineering work as a data scientist, I think it would be nice to have, so that you can see, like, does that make sense in a bigger picture, in a operations picture, or yeah. But yeah, I think not every data scientist needs engineering skills. Like when you're into, like, when you see all these papers from Google and so on, these guys don't need engineering skills. They might have, and I'm guessing so. But for that kind of analytics and really going down into the maths and so on, forget it.
Yeah, I think maybe understanding enough just to know what goes on in engineering is important, but I think what's more important is dealing with people like Andreas, right? Learn how to work with the data engineers to be part of that whole
dealing
team
with me.
right? Learn how to talk to these people. It's not always easy.
I know. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Kate. Yeah. Sometimes with me dealing is not that easy, but in general, yeah. In general, you're absolutely right. You need to, that's a good point. Well, you need at some level know what the engineer is speaking about.
Yeah.
It doesn't need, or the data scientist doesn't need to know how it works and how it's got to be configured and everything.
Yeah.
But he should know the basics of what's going on there. What is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kate. Yeah.
Question here from Wouter. I don't know if I said his name right. Where do you solve the data quality issues? Is it in the source, in the data warehouse, in the front end? Is it in the PowerPoint? Right?
Okay.
Where do we? Where...
Okay, if it's in the PowerPoint, then
Yeah, it's in the
you lost my
PowerPoint
friend. then,
on the
then
website.
you can only fake it. I think it's these are how should I explain this? These are different. Can you bring it up again, please?
Yeah, sure.
These data quality issues, they might be different issues.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, basically the level of insight into the data is different between the scientist and the engineer. Like the engineer can see, okay, does this transmission make sense? So is the quality of the data good that is coming in terms of like, is it built correctly? Is everything there? Like, but that's going to some level, and then the next level where the data scientist is like, okay, does the data actually make sense how it's coming in? So the levels are different, and that's why these people have different insight into the data. So the data engineer doesn't have that much insight into the data. In the data warehouse, when it's already in there, you might not want to have that data in there. And the front end,
I think of it like plumbing, right? I mean, you've got the water, the source of the water coming in. You go through all those pipes, and then it's basically in your cup right here. So you want that cleaned as early as possible, and I think the sooner you do that, address the data quality issue, the easier everything will be down the line. I can't clean my water now. I mean, I guess I could filter it or something, but the expectation is that it's been addressed early on, where it's already gone through all this process.
You can see it as multiple filter stages.
Yeah.
Like you have the first filter who is like, how's that called? High grained or low grained? It's a rough filter where that lets some stuff through, and then comes the next one, and then comes the data scientist, then comes the analyst filter, and then comes the PowerPoint filter, where you drop almost everything for the management and only have one number.
Yes, exactly. So I agree. So multiple filters throughout the whole process. You know, you've mentioned back when we were talking about how people can get started in data engineering, and I think Andrew also mentioned that it helps when you can talk to somebody as you're learning things. And I know you've recently kicked off your coaching program again. Why don't you tell the audience a bit about what your coaching is and how that works? Because some people might be interested in that kind of one-on-one or small group coaching.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No problem. So as you said, it's a group coaching, and I especially do this basically to give you a hand throughout this process of learning data engineering. And if you're a data scientist learning it, or if you're looking for a data engineering job, basically get that job. That we're doing Zoom calls right now. Up until now, 2 times a week. Now we're going to do 4 times a week, and basically in that coaching calls, it's not that we're doing coding in these calls. The calls are there for you to help you throughout the program, and basically you're doing something, you're getting stuck. Either you message me on Slack, we have a Slack group for that, or if it's just a day and you think, I can wait, then you go to the day, and then on the Zoom call we're going to talk about it. Or if with throughout the week there are coming up questions where you say, oh man, I would love to talk to Andreas about that, we're going to do that in the coaching calls. It's like the helper, if you're like in the early stages, we have a few worksheets for you to fill out. Then if you're not sure, like at some point you need to basically organize the tools that you later on need for the platform, and you're not sure what it is and where, and then I can give you a hand and help you with that. So that's Yeah, or you need to go to the GitHub and you create a GitHub. I help you and give you feedback on the GitHub or your videos that you create. Or what we also did, we're going through your CV and or reorganizing it if you like to share it. Otherwise, we're doing it over Slack. And we're always in small groups. And
How big are the groups? How many people are you taking on for the coaching?
well, this time I'm taking up maximum 10. And I still have open slots. I'm not really good at marketing, so and unfortunately I was sick this week, so we're not very many people right now. I think we're 4 right now, or 3. We're 3
Okay.
right now. 1 is in the pipeline. A few said they're going to join later, so the groups are usually small. I'm going to do this regularly, so more people are coming in, but yeah, it's usually our small groups. That's why I do it 4 times a week.
Okay.
I don't want to have 10 people every time in a group, because then you don't have a lot of time basically helping
Yeah,
people.
usually 1 or 2 people will monopolize that conversation, and not
Yeah.
everyone gets the same value.
Yeah, and usually I'm doing this here at 10 p.m. Then it's if I'm going 2 hours, then it's midnight, so that would be
10 p.m. Germany time.
10 p.m. Germany time. Yeah.
Not everyone here is from Germany, Andreas.
Yeah, 10 p.m. Well, my 10 p.m. and my 6 a.m. is the new time. So that's your
dedication, man.
midnight.
That's
So, but the goal is basically to have these group sessions, and people can hop on and hop off whenever they like. So the idea is to not only have see your project, but also listen to other people, interact with other people, get to know the others, and have a small team, data science, have a small team where you can also experience some other ideas and learn, not only for your project. So I think and people really like it. So that's why I bring it back. I have still have 3 old students who are going to join. I initially thought I would not bring it back this year, but it's too much fun.
Backed by popular demand. Andreas,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. That's great that people are seeing the value and they're signing up for this. So definitely, guys, go to teamdatascience.com, check out the coaching, check out the subscription courses. Andreas and I will announce the 10 winners of the 1-month subscription for the data engineering course / membership, whatever we want to call that. But in order to qualify, you do have to sign up for the DATAcated conference, and I highly recommend that you do sign up for that. It's a 4-track conference, 4 hours, hosted just right here on LinkedIn Live. So I know we've got a lot more comments and questions coming in, Andreas, but I know we do have to wrap it up. So the last thing I always ask my guests is, where can people go to continue this conversation? Because it looks like people really want to continue the conversation, and where can they learn more?
Yeah, well, if you want to find me, you can find me here on LinkedIn, or on my you can check out my YouTube channel. It's also on my Team Data Science page. I have a playlist for that. I have a Team Data Science Telegram channel where you can just pop in and ask questions. That's that. Do I have more? Instagram. I'm starting again with Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe see each other on the conference, because
Yeah.
I know I know I'm on your show, but and this is not just a plug. I seen the speakers, so I think they're really cool speakers, very interesting topics, and so I'm going to join and be in the comments, and so I'm
Awesome.
I'm excited for it.
And thank you again for Team Data Science for being a community partner. Really appreciate the giveaway. I see some people are commenting that they like the session, and Emily here has already signed up for the conference. Thank you.
Very good, Emily.
I'll see you there. All right. On that note, I'll thank you again, Andreas, for making time to do this, and thanks to everybody who's joined us live and who's watching the recording. We appreciate the support, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Kate. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.